everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Movie Dudes. I'm Phil,
And I'm Alec.
and today we are going to be talking about one of the best comedies that's ever been made, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Absolutely.
So, obviously, this film is the first film made by the Monty Python, which are like probably the I want to say the biggest like comedy group in history. Like I can't really point another one that's more like influential and that's more popular. It's they were the best, honestly.
I'll definitely best is definitely a debate, but like biggest, I would probably say so. Can't really think of any others that are too much bigger, but yeah.
So obviously, this film is a kind of like a parody of the whole King Arthur story, with the usual Monty Python absurd comedy that they usually have. So, I mean, the story is kind of exactly the same as the King Arthur story, which is you got King Arthur who tries to find the Holy Grail, and he gathers a group of the strongest knights he can find to find it. And honestly, I feel like that story is kind of I don't know, it's got almost a weird structure to it, where it's like the first part of the movie is him trying to gather the knights, and he finds one. And then the other ones are kind of just like told through narration, and then they go to Camelot, which is like the castle that they have to go to. I'm not that familiar with the King Arthur story, just to be honest. So I'm trying to be accurate, but if I make mistakes, now you know why. But so yeah, they go to Camelot, and then they're just like, nah, I don't really want to go there. So then they just kind of split up to find, to try to figure out how to get to the Grail, and then King Arthur hears from an old crazy man that the Grail is to get the Grail they need to go to some kind of bridge, and then they gather everyone back together, and then they go to that bridge, and there's a bunch of other stuff, including a very dangerous rabbit, and so that's kind of most of the story. But at the end, everyone kind of like their whole plan kind of fails because they get arrested by the police for because they're accused of attempted murder. They're accused of murder of a very famous historian.
Okay. I've only seen 2 Monty Python films, including this one and The Meaning of Life.
All right.
But I'll say this: both films never go the way you think they're gonna go.
Oh no!
With these types of stories, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay in the realm of medieval times, and we're gonna go get the Holy Grail, but that doesn't happen because you get these cut-ins where it's like a historian talking about like, oh, then King Arthur and his men went to the split up to look for the Holy Grail, and then one of the guys rides by and just slashes his chest.
It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Just why not? But yeah, no, it really. I've also only seen 2 Monty Python film, which are The Holy Grail and Life of Brian, and they also are very. Life of Brian is another one that's really absurd and doesn't go the way you think it's gonna go. Although I will say I definitely prefer. I definitely feel like The Holy Grail is their best work.
Oh yeah, out of the ones I've seen so far, I agree.
And so I was yesterday when I was watching the film, I was kind of like, I was writing my notes at the same time, and I was kind of thinking like, I'm not sure if I have that much stuff to talk about during the episode, because it's kind of just like, oh, that joke was funny, that one was also funny, that one was even more funny. It's like I'm not really sure like how to properly analyze Monty Python.
I guess there really isn't too much of a way to I guess, analyze Monty Python unless we were to go deep into, their satire of the medieval genre, and stuff like that. But I'm sure that neither of us know too much about the medieval genre to really go into that. But
I don't. Well, as I just said, I'm not really that familiar with the King Arthur story.
Right. But I do think a good way to do this, and it was the same thing that you were talking about, is just talking about our favorite gags. Because I have quite a few I wrote down.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, just the first few jokes of the film, before the film even starts, like, you get the opening credits, which are just, first of all, it starts, you got just regular opening credits, but with subtitles in, like, Norwegian or some kind of language, which are just, like, they use the Norwegian letters and accents and everything, but the sentences are, like, English. Try to make it, but they try to make it look like it's another language, and it's like it keeps cutting a few times, like the person who was writing the subtitles has been sacked. Then it's like, we want you to inform that the person who sacked the person who wrote the subtitles has been sacked, and it's just this whole loop that's just makes no sense, but that's just so funny.
And then it's like and then it goes we've decided to change up the opening credits, and then it goes into this, like, flashing lights, like yellow and orange. It's like, it's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, and it's like it's directed by 12 Peruvian llamas and a bunch of weird stuff, and also directed by Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
But I think my the first time that I saw the film, that was the joke that really, like, I had to pause the film because I was laughing so much. It's, and I don't know why it made me laugh so much, but it's once the opening credits are over, it just says the year is 93 square.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so smart. It's genius.
There's just so many like genius lines thrown out. There's one joke really early on that just caught me really good, and I don't know why. Was the they're walking through like the lands to go to different kingdoms to look for knights, and they come across a couple peasants, and they're like, "Who is lord of this kingdom?" And he goes, "I don't know. I didn't know we had one." And then it's like "Who are you even?" He's like, "I'm King Arthur," or he's like, "I'm Arthur, King of the Britons." He was like, "Who are the Britons?" He's like, "That's you." He's like, I didn't know we had a king. I didn't vote for him.
I didn't vote for you. You don't vote for a king. And then there's just the guy who just, like, goes into really precise and, like, complicated political terms, and it's like, where you're a peasant. Where did you get that from?
I love the part where he's just like, well, who decides you're king? He's like, the lady in the water handed me the sword, and he's like, oh, so just some tot in the water handed you a sword, and now you're a king. Oh, that got me good.
Yeah, but I think, especially in the beginning of the film, objectively the best joke is just, like, you hear sounds of a horse in the background, and then you just see Graham Chapman acting like he's on a horse with Terry Gilliam behind him, just knocking coconuts together to make it sound like a horse.
It's such an iconic moment to start the movie on.
Yeah.
And speaking of absolutely iconic things, we might have probably the most famous joke out of any parody movie ever, which is the Black Knight.
Yeah.
Which
probably
they come across this knight, and he's like just fighting some guy, and they're like, "Oh, brave knight, you have proven yourself, and you may join us on our quest." And he's like, "Nope, you can't pass this area." And so King Arthur just, like, one by one cuts his limbs off, and every time the knight's like, "Oh, whatever, it's just a scratch, just a flesh wound. It's a flesh wound." And he keeps like kicking him with his legs. And once he's literally like no legs, no arms, he's like, "Come back here, I'll bite you."
I'll bite your legs off.
Yeah, I'll bite your legs off.
Yeah. I feel like the tis about a scratch kind of became a meme, didn't it?
Oh yeah, like the flesh wound thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like back in their
Yeah.
early internet days.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's actually something that I wrote.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
I feel like every single joke in this film is so iconic. Like, you got that, but you also got the different dialogues between, especially the dialogues when they're talking to the French. Like, I shall taunt you a second time. Like, your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. It's like, I've definitely quoted this so many times with my brothers.
One of my favorite jokes this time around was there's just these visual gags that I think are so funny, like bring out your dead, and they're just wheeling this massive like pallet with like 6 dead people, and it's just bring out your dead, bring out your dead.
You know, it's funny, but it's also like kind of accurate to the way that people were living in the middle age. And it ends also with one of my favorite lines. It's like, who is he? I guess he's a king. Why do you think so? Because he's not covered in shit.
One of my favorite parts of the whole bring out your dead thing is a guy brings out like an old man, and he's just like, take this one, he's dead, and he's like, I'm not dead, I'm just fine. He's like, oh, he says he's just fine, and he's like, oh, he'll be gone in a few minutes.
Yeah, which honestly, now that I think about it, the whole joke of like, he's dead, no, I'm getting better, is surprisingly used many more times in the film.
Yeah,
like it's also used.
I got better,
especially in the later in the film with the whole like massacre scene during the wedding. It's like, my son fell to his death. No, he's fine. He's getting better. Yeah,
so much.
That's a really good one.
So
much, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like one of my other favorite ones is there's like a bunch of I guess I don't know, a bunch of like robed hooded men like walking through a village chanting something in Latin or like singing, and then like at the end of their thing it's like boom, and they just hit themselves in the head with a plank, and they just keep walking.
Hold on. I feel like I have some stuff in my notes.
Another one I wrote down was the whole witch exchange between the first night and like the village, because they bring the woman out and they like dressed her up with like a weird nose and like a hat, and it was just like, well, why do you think this woman is a witch? She dresses like one. And she's like, they dress me up like this. And she's like, is this true? And they're just like, yeah, we might have done the nose, but she turned me into a newt. You don't look like a newt to me. I got better.
Yeah, with the like amazing delivery by John Cleese.
Yeah, I got better.
So funny. And like the guy who's like almost becomes like the scientist of the bunch, who gives me one of my favorite quotes of the entire film, which is after they've gathered up everyone and they've got the whole narration done, he just says like, and this is why we assume the Earth to be banana shaped. And it's like, what?
There's also they do the whole Trojan horse plan with like one of the castles, and it's like, all right, me Lancelot and whatever, we're going to jump out of it at nightfall and take them by surprise. Could you repeat that? Yeah, we're gonna jump out.
Good. I felt one of the scene that really, I always liked it, but that really became one of my favorite scene during my last rewatch was the the massacre scene with I think it's with Lancelot.
Oh yeah.
Where he just like
That scene is
goes into a
brilliant.
castle where there's a wedding, and he just fucking kills everyone.
He like runs up and he's like, "I've come to save you," and then he's just like, "No," and then like the king comes. He thinks it's gonna be like a girl,
but it's a guy.
It's a guy, and then like the king comes. And is like, "Did you slaughter all my guards?" Oh yeah, sorry about that. And then like the guy's just like, it was just like, "Well, why'd you do that?" He's like, I thought your son was a woman," and he goes, "I can see that." And then he like brings him out, and he's like, "All right, all's forgiven. You know, it's all right, everybody. He killed all those guys, but it's all right." And then they like, they bring, like one of them is like runs up the stairs, and Lancelot like slashes him across the chest. He's like, "Hey, hold on."
Yeah.
God, that whole thing is just so incredible.
Yeah, you got also this whole bit of like the prince who always wants to like go into a song, and the father always like, no singing, stop this. There's also this like one of the most confusing dialogues I've ever seen between like the king and the guards. Just like, all right, so we understand. I'm gonna leave. You don't let him leave the room until I tell you. All right. You. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
what you
it's
said,
like
but it's
it's like
so confusing.
Don't let him leave. Or yeah, it's like, don't let him leave until I come back. And they're like, all right. And they like spend like 2 minutes explaining it to him, and then he leaves the room, and the knights follow him. Oh man.
Yeah.
There's also I'm trying to think of like one of the other like really good moments.
Mm-hmm.
Another just iconic moment is, you know, near the end, they go to the tomb where they believe that, you know, the Holy Grail is, and they're told by Tim the Enchanter, which by the way, amazing name. They're told by him that there's a dangerous beast that guards there, and there's a small white rabbit sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a rabbit," and they're like, he tells one of the knights, he's like, "Go take care of that." He's like, "I'll squash its head." And he just runs in, and the bunny bites his neck open and kills him. And they're like, "Oh my god!" So they're like,
Which,
well, what can we do about this? What can we do about this beast?
I feel like that's a great example of a joke going further than what you'd expect, which is like the guy tells you about this dangerous beast that's that's protecting the cave, and then they go there and they see it's just a bunny, and a lot of I feel like a lot of comedies would just stop at that, but then they go even further, which is like, no, it's a rabbit and it's really fucking dangerous.
And then this comedy goes even further than that by going, all right, how should we kill this? Yeah. And then, or they send a bunch more people in to go get him, and then it kills them, like most of the group, and they're like, all right, how do we do this? And they're like, well, he has the relic, the holy hand grenade. And they're like, oh yes, bring out the holy hand grenade. And then like one of the priests like goes into a box, opens it up, and there's just this golden jewel encrusted with a cross on the top hand grenade that King Arthur opens up and throws at the rabbit, and it just explodes.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite scenes of the film. And then we got the scene after that, which is in the cave when they see an ancient writing that says like, "Be careful of the creature of." Like, does he actually write? Yeah, but yeah, that's what it says. And then he turns around, look, it's the sacred beast of. And then he's like getting eaten by this weird beast, like animated beast, because obviously a Monty Python film had to have a sequence animated by Terry Gilliam.
Of course.
Yeah. You got also so they just start like trying to escape the beast, and just the way that the beast is killed is just like the animator had a fatal heart attack, and this is how they
Oh my god,
they beat the beast.
that got me really good because it's just like
Yeah.
the animator suffered a fatal heart attack, and it shows a 1 second cut of the animator going ah! and then just falling back in his chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I think, the only time in any Monty Python film where one of the members plays themselves, which is just Terry Gilliam animating and falling to his death. There's also the bridge scene, which is always been one of my favorites. Which is they get to the bridge where they've been told to go to by the old man, where they see the same old man at the entrance, and so the first one, I don't remember who it's Lancelot, who goes there and is like, answer my 3 questions. What is your name? Lancelot. What do you seek? I seek the Holy Grail. What is your favorite color? Blue. All right, you may go. Oh, thank you.
All right, go
And
on,
then
man.
he just goes, and then there's the other guy that comes in and is like, what is your name? I don't remember his name. What do you seek? I seek the Holy Grail. What is the capital of I don't remember what, like a really specific thing.
What is the capital?
I don't know that. And then he just like gets thrown out of the bridge and falls to his death. And then it's King Arthur who's like, what is your name? King Arthur. What do you seek? I seek the Holy Grail. What did you say? It's something about
It was like how far can like this type of bird fly? And then he goes like
this swallows.
Yeah, he's like north of, or he goes like, what does he say, like
a European or an African swallow? I don't know that. And then the guy who guards the bridge gets thrown out, which I just realized when watching the film yesterday that it's a reference to the scene at the beginning of the film when they're arguing about like how they got coconuts.
Yeah.
And they said, well, maybe it was carried by swallows. Which I think is really great because it's like, yeah, that's why he thought of that, because he just had that really confusing dialogue with the other guards. I feel that's something that I thought of when rewatching the film. So I think it was my 3rd time rewatching the film.
Mm-hmm.
No, first time watching the film, and I feel like an issue with Monty Python is that they're films that aren't really like rewatchable, because the jokes are so like focused on and based on surprise that once you know the joke, when you see it again, you think it's funny, but you don't necessarily laugh at it again.
Right.
I mean, especially the one I think about the most is the one with coconuts, which is like when you don't know it's a thing and you just see the film for the first time, you think it's hilarious and you think it's so clever, and when it's your 3rd time watching it, you think the same thing, but you just know it's gonna happen, so you don't laugh at it. You're just like,
right.
Oh, there's a coconuts.
I think the thing is like, and this is what I did this time, is that it's like I hadn't seen this movie in like maybe a good 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was sitting there watching it and I had forgotten honestly most of the movie. So a good number of it, like other than the like iconic moments, most of it was a surprise to me. So I think Monty Python movies are good to revisit, but you got to give it some time to breathe.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think the last time I saw it was, when was it? Was like back in, I want to say early pandemic, like April or May of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what, like a year and a half ago.
Just about.
Yeah. So probably should have waited a bit longer, but I'm definitely gonna wait longer for the next time I'm gonna see it.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a side tangent thing I've been thinking about, is that like
right.
It's just like rewatching movies, and like at what point does it get like kind of sickening to watch it again? Like I really do think it depends on the type of movie. because
Absolutely.
it's getting to be the holiday season, and since
Yeah.
I come from a family that celebrates Christmas, uh, Christmas movies are pretty big in my family.
Yeah.
Rewatching it every year, but I've started to get to the point where I don't really like rewatching those movies anymore, because I've
Yeah.
seen them like for my entire life. I've seen them like every year. Like one of them, or I guess two of them, would be A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation. Both
Oh,
of
all right.
both of them are very good movies, but I have been taking a couple of years off from watching them again because I just so many times. It's just it's so much.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I recently saw. I've seen Chungking Express like 3 times in the last 6 months, and it has not gotten
Yeah.
older any time. So I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what's the difference there?
Yeah. I mean, for just to go back on the Christmas film for a bit, I feel like for me, in my family at least, the movie that everyone rewatches every year at Christmas is Home Alone 1 and 2.
Yeah, that one
And
too.
which yeah, definitely like the films that everyone always watch. But I think so. That's there's a Christmas film that I saw for the first time last year, and I think might become my like Christmas movie, which is the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, that movie rocks. Yeah.
It's because I saw like last year during Christmas time, I saw so many people on Twitter talking about it, and they were like, "All right, can we just admit that this is the best Christmas film ever made?" And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna watch it because why not? Everyone says it's good." And I saw it during Christmas Eve, and I was like, "All right, it's really good. That's a really good movie." And I mean that's really something that I have to do is just like watch more like Muppet stuff because it just seems so good
Oh
in
yeah.
general.
No, the original Muppet movie is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean like Michael Caine is so good at playing Scrooge. I'm not really sure if I have that much more stuff to talk about.
Me neither. It really is. It's not that Holy Grail is a surface level movie.
It's not.
It's just that you kind of get everything when you see it, and you don't really need to, I guess, discuss it further other than just like recounting the jokes that you liked. And I think that's what makes Monty Python, just as a whole, one of the greatest like comedy things ever, is because most of their stuff is so like easily accessible in terms of like if you have that sense of humor, it's going to be perfect for you. Even the original BBC show. But like with other like comedy movies, sometimes it can be an absolute miss, but I really do think that like if anybody were to watch Monty Python, you'd probably get one laugh out of it, no matter who you are. I would hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, personally, I do feel like some scenes are a bit like, well, for example, there's a scene that I always skip because I just like don't really find it that funny. I just find it a bit boring. Is the scene where I don't know the name of the character, but the character played by Michael Palin goes to like this castle where he's he's welcomed by like the nuns, I think, or
Galahad.
whatever. Yeah. Which is I don't know, it's the part of the film where I start to lose interest a bit.
It's not a particularly great scene once you already know what's gonna happen.
I feel like they even mentioned it like I was afraid the scene was gonna get cut and whatever, and they're just like at least my scene had better visual effects. At least my scene had was more intense. And
the part I enjoyed about it is the entire like get on with it thing, which shows like characters and situations we don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Like there's the entire like army at the end going, "Get on with it."
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's kind of all I had to say about the Holy Grail.
It's about the same for me. But yeah, great,
Right.
great movie, and I'll have to
Yeah.
check out some more of Monty Python again sometime soon.
Yeah. I mean, I saw yesterday. I saw that The Meaning of Life is now on Netflix, so I'm definitely gonna have to watch it.
Is it back on there? Okay, good. Because I remember.
Well, I mean, it's in Canada, so I'm not sure about the United
right.
States, but
I always forget about that. Hang on.
right. But I think the catalogs between the U.S. and Canada are very similar.
Oh yeah.
So that might be the case, but I don't know.
Let me see. Meaning of Life.
I think they've also gotten like the Flying Circus.
It is not on Netflix over here. It's on Peacock, which I do not have.
All
That's
right.
fine.
But
yeah.
so
All right.
so that was the Holy Grail. So I guess we can now move on to kind of go back to the tangent of rewatchable movies.
Yeah.
So I think I've asked this question on another episode, which is like, what's the film that you've seen the most?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it before.
Definitely talked about that. I know my answer is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but
I think I've said that Shining is my most rewatched, along with like maybe Pulp Fiction, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that's definitely I feel what's funny is that in general, I rarely rewatch movies. Like for example, I this year most of the films that I've rewatched were films that we talked about on the podcast.
Same here. I'm very much a person, and a lot of my, I guess some of my friends don't really understand this. My girlfriend especially, a lot of them don't understand why. Like, I don't know. I just keep I keep watching new movies, is because I just like it. I'll go back and I'll rewatch. Like I recently rewatched Django Unchained, because it had been a few years since I last saw it. But in general, I don't really like to rewatch movies, especially not on my own. Like if I'm alone, I will usually watch a new movie, unless of course it's for movie dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's why I'm constantly trying to seek out new movies that I haven't seen. That's why my watch list is so big.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for example, just looking at the episodes, like if it wasn't for movie dudes, I definitely wouldn't have rewatched House, Memories of Murder, A Silent Voice, Harold and Maude, Tampopo, all those films. Like, those are some of my favorite films, but
yeah,
I just don't really like to rewatch films that much. I feel like in general the movies that I tend to rewatch are the Lord of the Rings, definitely the trilogy. I've rewatched quite a bit, and obviously the Harry Potter movies, which I try to always like come back to them once in a while.
Right. I usually I'm trying to think. There's always like I like rewatching like movies that I love, like Parasite. Usually I will rewatch every year. Or like, I'm not sure. Like if I'm showing a movie to someone, I'll rewatch it. Like some of my friends have been wanting to watch House with me because I have it, and I'm like, oh, they don't know what they're getting into.
All right. Have you ever seen a movie many times in theaters?
The most I've ever seen a movie in theaters was Infinity War when it came out. Because I saw it the night it came out. I saw it with my dad and my stepbrother. And I think I saw it with a friend. I'm not too sure. All I know is that I
Well,
definitely saw it a few times when it came out.
Yeah. Well, for me, the only film that I've seen more than once in theaters was Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Far From Home, which I saw for the first time, just because I wanted to see it. Then I saw it another time because my brother wanted to see it, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to go to the theater alone, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll go. I'll see it again."
Yeah.
And fun fact: the second time that I saw it was the last time that I saw a movie in theaters before the pandemic.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that was like in August of 2019, I think.
Yeah.
So like I really spent like, because before the pandemic, I really didn't go that much to see movies in theaters, and now that's definitely something that I try to do a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like more movies that I've seen. Sometimes it's like not a good idea to go see a movie again in the theater.
Yeah.
Because like my perception might change on it. Like that's what happened with me in Far From Home, is that I saw it twice in theaters, and the first time I saw it, I was like, that's a pretty good movie. And then when I saw it again, I'm like, it's definitely probably the weakest Spider-Man movie if we're not counting The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, there's things I love about it. Like I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I liked the
whole sequences of like hallucinations are I think the special effects are some of the best that's ever been like in the MCU.
Yeah, I love the
at least some of the more creatives.
I love the direction it goes at the end, where like Spider-Man's identity gets revealed. I was like, that's fresh. And I'm really excited to see where that goes.
I love that they brought back J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, oh my god, that actually... I am not the type of person to like cheer and clap in a theater. That made me get out of my seat and go like, woo!
Yeah.
But I'm actually seeing Spider-Man on opening night. So that's gonna be fun.
No, actually, I'm not even seeing it on opening night. Like it comes out on Friday. On this Friday, I'm seeing it this Thursday.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it then too. So I guess that would be...
Yeah.
Would that be opening night? I'm not sure. Maybe.
Well, no. To me, that's before opening night. Because to me, opening...
Yeah, good
No,
point.
I don't... Doesn't really matter, honestly.
It's a gray area. It doesn't matter.
So yeah. So that means that... that means the next episode, which also will be our Christmas episode, is going to be our episode to talk about No Way Home.
Yeah, which is going to be... I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, which is like... I don't know if I should be this hyped for it, because I feel like I'm just gonna get disappointed. But
right. See, here's my mentality with it. Like, I'm not the biggest MCU guy. I don't keep up on all the news, but I'll see the movies when they come out, and I'll especially get posted up for Spider-Man. Like that, whenever a new Spider-Man thing happens, I'm there. Which, speaking of Spider-Man things, there was a massive announcement this past weekend.
Yep.
And
I know where you're going.
Oh my god. Yeah. So this past weekend it was announced that there will be 2 more Spider-Verse movies. Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, which is insane.
And
oh my god.
we even got a trailer for Part 1.
We got a trailer, man. It is insane. Man. Oh my god.
Dude. Like the fucking animation when he goes into the other universe.
Unreal.
Like, Unreal. My god.
Genuinely, I am so happy we live in a world where there's going to be 3 Spider-Verse movies.
Oh my god, yeah. And especially since like there's gonna be, now we're at the 3rd Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and there's definitely gonna be more. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, didn't he sign a contract for like 3 more Spider-Man films?
Which is a little odd considering that
my
friends and I were talking about this. I don't know if you've seen this at all, but apparently Tom Holland said he was like, I don't want to be doing this acting thing much longer. Which,
really?
That's what, apparently he said that, but like, if he signed the contract, he might have changed his mind, because that keeps him in the MCU for like at least another 10 years.
Yeah. Like, did he say he didn't want to? He wanted to stop acting.
I guess that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing what I heard from like a friend of mine, so maybe it's not completely accurate.
Yeah.
But I did see something like that. Who knows though?
I don't know.
But yeah. Are there any interesting movies you watched recently?
Yeah. So I saw, since we recorded the last episode, I've only seen 3 movies, which were I saw the Beaches of Agnes, which is a documentary by French New Wave director Agnès Varda, who is definitely my favorite director of the French New Wave.
Oh yeah,
and
love Varda.
so that's the second documentary I've seen of her. The first one was Faces Places, which is one of her last film. That one is a slightly older film from 2008.
Right.
That's basically like about her life from her birth to the death of her husband Jacques Demy, who's another French New Wave director. And it's like if you want to have a good time, you just want to be a good movie, you just want to feel like a warm love and a warm loving feeling in your body, just watch an Agnès Varda documentary, because like, oh my god, that is so sweet, that is so nice.
She is just so full of life. I like
Oh my god.
even seeing like footage of her, like her Criterion Closet video is just so it's so nice.
She's got by far the best Criterion Closet video, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. There's just
Oh
you
my god.
can just see so much love and so much passion.
Oh yeah, and she's got like, I don't know, I feel like I'd never see her actually like being angry or being well, I did see her being sad in Faces Places because of Jean-Luc Godard. But yeah, so that's something that people will understand. They've seen Faces Places, but like, so yeah, no, that's it's on the Criterion channel if anyone wants to watch it, and I definitely recommend it. I'm not that big on documentary, but I am big on Agnès Varda documentaries, because they just give you such an optimistic and positive view on life, and it's just so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then on the same day, actually, I saw my my 4th Akira Kurosawa film of the year, which was Yojimbo.
What'd you think?
And well, I mean, obviously, I really liked it. But see, the thing that kind of bothers me right now with Kurosawa is that, so that was my 4th film by Kurosawa that I saw this year, but also just in general, because like the first Kurosawa film that I saw was Seven Samurai at the beginning of the year, and that was like, to me, that's like a masterpiece, and I loved it so much. And I just kind of feel like every other film, the other films that I've seen from him are Throne of Blood, Rashomon, and Yojimbo, and I just feel like all 3 of those films like didn't really. They weren't really as good as Seven Samurai, and I don't know. I just feel like I keep trying to find another like samurai experience that I like as much as Seven Samurai, but I just haven't found that yet.
I can understand that. I guess the way I think about it is like, I think Kurosawa, like, he hits such an incredible, like, I guess, zone with his samurai movies. But I don't think there's ever going to be or ever was another movie like Seven Samurai, because it's just it has so much time to build, and just has one of probably the greatest action sequences ever. But like I've only seen a couple Kurosawa movies as of right now, that being Seven Samurai and Rashomon. But Rashomon I felt was a different kind of Kurosawa movie, in the sense that it wasn't entirely action driven.
Yeah, well, I feel like in general it was also like on a kind of like on a smaller scale.
Oh, absolutely. Because Seven Samurai, like, Rashomon's only like an hour and a half, but like Seven Samurai is this behemoth of a film.
It's 3.5 hours. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, there are only 2 movies I've ever watched that are that long, and that's Seven Samurai and the Irishman.
Yeah. Well, the only films that I've seen that are no, the only film that I've seen that is longer than that, I think, is the extended version of Return of the King.
Right.
And maybe the other Lord of the Ring films are longer than that. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
But
I forgot about I forgot about the Snyder cut of Justice League that I watched earlier this year.
oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the only film that I've seen that are that long.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy long movies, because I kind of brought up everything I've seen over the week because I haven't seen much.
Sure.
But I did watch a movie last night.
All right.
Because okay, so let me set the scene. Yesterday,
All right.
I'm still in the like few days after my college semester ended, and I've just been sleeping a lot because I didn't get much sleep during finals week.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But yesterday was probably the worst of it because I think I slept most of the day. I actually was supposed to go see a screening of Nobuhiko Abayashi's Labyrinth of Cinema, but I ended up missing out on that. But I don't feel as bad because I learned that they're coming out with a Blu-ray of Labyrinth of Cinema.
Oh hell yeah!
So
I'm getting
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm picking that up too. I'll send you the link.
All right, nice.
But anyway, I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, so I kind of slept a lot, but I'm like, okay, I was playing video games or something. I was just sitting there. I'm like, I want to at least watch one movie tonight. So I went over.
Right.
I went over to my shelf, and I went over to my section of Criterions that I hadn't watched yet. And I randomly I put them all in a list generator, and I just picked a random one, and I ended up watching The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Which is
all right.
a David Fincher movie from 2008. It's pretty infamous because it has one of the more I guess interesting or I guess kind of fantastical plots from Fincher, which is a man is born in his 80s with the body of an 80-year-old and basically ages backwards throughout all of his life. So it's kind of like Forrest Gump, but if you had just a just a very, very strange man's life. And I thought it was good. I don't think it's great or anything. It's probably the weakest Fincher movie I've seen so far. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's 2.5 hours long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, which you really start to feel near the end. I'll say that much. But I think everybody gave very solid performances. Brad Pitt, Kate Blanchett, Taraji P. Henson, all of them are pretty good. But I can't really say that the way that it was structured was really that interesting. Because we kind of spend like an hour on his childhood as a CGI old man child, which is a little uncanny to look at.
Right.
And then we get the rest of the movie is basically him as an adult, and then the later stages, which I won't spoil too much. But I think it's a fine movie. I don't think I'd watch it again. It'd probably be a long time before I do, though. But it's fine. I definitely maybe sometime next year I'll go through the rest of Fincher's work and just see how it all stacks up, because there's still quite a bit I haven't seen. But overall, I thought it was okay.
Yeah. I definitely want to watch some more David Fincher, because he's definitely one of my favorite directors.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a while, actually, since I've seen one of his films. I think the last time I saw one was The Game, which was much earlier this year. Mm-hmm. I think it was maybe back in March or April. I really want to watch. I still have my... I got a Blu-ray of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I still haven't seen it. I really want to watch Gone Girl because it's like, what,
Me
a David
too.
Fincher film with Neil Patrick Harris? Sign me up. And I also really want to watch. I really want to watch every single Alien movie just to see, like, what it's like. What Alien 3 is like.
I've seen 3 Alien movies. I've seen the first one, the second one, obviously fantastic films, and I also saw the most recent one, Alien Covenant, which was
how
awful.
was that?
It was awful.
All right. I've only seen Alien. I think it was last year that I saw it for the first time, and I really liked it. So.
Yeah. Alien is great. Aliens is pretty fantastic from what I remember. It's been a while though.
Yeah, I just one of the things I remember the most from Alien is just how invested I got by the end of the film, and it was like, I will talk a bit about the end of Alien. So if you haven't seen Alien, try to skip a little bit. But basically, at the end, she gets into like what is it, like the not the safety thing, but where she just escapes the spaceship.
Yeah,
thinking that she's escaped the xenomorph, and then it just jumps out, and you're like, "Oh my god, will you please fucking leave her alone?"
It is like, yeah, it's such a frightening movie.
Oh yeah. There's something really frightening too about, like, she's alone in space with an alien that's trying to kill her, and the only thing that's left that she's got left is a cat. Yeah, so that's I really liked Alien, and I really have to watch the other ones. Actually, a few months ago, I found on Amazon like the Blu-ray box set of like every Alien movie from like Alien to Alien Covenant for like, I don't know, like, it was like $25, and I was like, damn, that's a good price. I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And then like a week later, I got an email from Amazon that said like the package can't be sent to you. We're gonna send you a refund. And I was like,
oh,
what the fuck happened? What?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I usually don't have any problems with Amazon, but that's happened sometimes.
Yeah, that was my first time I actually had that, and it was disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, I would imagine that's a really good deal.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna find it again, but yeah. Yeah, something too about Alien is that like I didn't know it had like such a good cast. Like, obviously I knew Sigourney Weaver was in it, but I didn't know that it had like John Hurt, Harry Dean Stanton, Ian Holm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn.
Yeah,
That's a good cast. And I mean, honestly, like, Sigourney Weaver just is like one of the most badass actress, or just actors in general from the like 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what else? Do I have? Hold on. Yeah, I got another film that I saw this week, which is Close Up by Abbas Kiarostami.
What'd you think of that?
Just because I was just like, I was kind of browsing through the channel, and I thought, why not? I'm gonna watch that. It's really good. It's a really good film. Because it's like, I don't know how much you know about this one.
Not too much. I still haven't delved into Kiarostami's work, but I do have his movie Like Someone in Love on Blu-ray, so I will be watching that sometime soon.
Right. Well, what's interesting with Close Up is that it's a mix of fiction and documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's about like an actual case of a guy who took himself for who impersonated the Iranian filmmaker Mohsen Makhmalbaf, and who basically like became friends with a family who were like had the sons of the family that were interested in movies and that wanted to possibly become filmmakers. And he basically like impersonated this famous director and tried to teach them like how to make movies, even though he's never made a movie in his life. And so they ended up figuring out like that's not the right guy. And basically that's he was arrested for like fraud and that kind of stuff. And what's really crazy is that like you got the documentary part, which is interviews of the victims and interviews of the impersonator, and you also got like what's the word when you like shit, I can't find the word when you're like in front of the judge. How do you call that? Like
testify? No.
The thing where he was like being judged,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to film the entire thing, and a good chunk of it is in the film. And then we got the fiction part, which is, for example, when he met the family, when he got arrested, and that kind of stuff, which is so was filmed with. But what's interesting is that it wasn't filmed with actual actors; it was filmed with the actual people, like with the actual family and the actual guy who did the crime, which like makes the documentary part not feel like an actual documentary, but with just makes it feel like it's part of the movie. But it's actually kind of crazy how everything's real in this. And
I've always liked those.
Obviously,
I've always liked those
yeah.
type of films, so I will have to watch Close Up sometime soon.
Yeah, well, that was actually my first time seeing like a mix of documentary and fiction like that, and that was kind of mind blowing, honestly.
Yeah, it's always so much fun to see.
Yeah, that, and it's also like I thought it was shorter than that, but it's 98 minutes, and so I thought like it was pretty short. And it's the kind of film also that like I usually have this tendency of looking at how much time I have left with the film every once in a while, whatever the film. And this film was one of the few films that I didn't have that I just like paid attention to the film throughout the entire thing. So that's always a sign that like that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't find myself doing it. I do it quite a bit. I'm trying to think of the last time that I think it was during Before Sunset when I recently watched the Before trilogy. I was just like I was encapsulated by it. I was like I just gotta step back and watch this. But I found myself doing that a lot with Benjamin Button. So I was like, all right, how much time do I got left in this? 2 hours? Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's gonna happen with any film that's like really long.
Oh yeah, no, I did the same with Seven Samurai.
Although I will say I don't do that with Lord of the Ring.
I get that. Yeah.
Because I feel like, when I watch Lord of the Ring, I watch them like all at once. I watch them in one go. So it basically becomes a 12-hour long movie instead of a of three something hour film. And the thing with that is I feel like it becomes so absurdly long that I don't even feel like it just goes by like much faster than it seems. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I actually had an experience like that not too long ago, where on my Twitch channel I tried to finish Zelda Wind Waker in one day in one stream.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that on your VODs. I think I saw that on your VODs channel.
Yeah, and I only I only got halfway through, but still, it was 10 hours, and it felt much shorter than that. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I really like to like do marathons and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. No, I've always liked the idea of like marathoning a game on a live stream. I've just been every time I've tried to stream, I'm just I don't know what it is, but like my anxiety gets the better of me.
Oh, really?
I'm not too good, I guess, talking with the whole live thing, but I do want to get better with that.
Yeah.
I do. I really
It's
do.
not easy. Yeah, I mean, I've been streaming since like September, and I always have like and I've just started to get like have more ease at being able to comment what I'm doing.
Right.
And well, I mean, recently I've been streaming a lot of Celeste.
Oh.
And the issue with that is that, like, since it's a pretty difficult game, I tend to like stop commenting and just focus on the game.
Yeah, I get that. No,
yeah.
I adore Celeste.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did see that on on Discord. I did see you were playing Celeste. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. But just I've got another thing to say about the marathon thing, just to tease up a bit. I am planning on, I don't know exactly when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to do a massive marathon that I'm going to kind of like film, almost like a vlog, a bit of it. I'm going to give my opinions on the different films that I see. Or I'm going to watch every single Blu-ray that I own that I haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah. So that's 10 movies.
Oh, okay.
It's not like I tend to buy more films that I've seen than films that I haven't seen.
That's the same here. Or I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got and I also got only one Criterion in the bunch, but the rest are all regular Blu-rays. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a video out of it. I'm gonna talk about it. I guess I'm gonna talk about it more next week once I've seen the films.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear about
it.
Yeah. I plan over. I guess I'll be visiting home a lot, so I won't have any of my Blu-rays with me. But I guess over the next couple weeks, I do want to knock out some movies that I've been saving up on streaming services and stuff.
Right.
But I did recently. I guess the reason I haven't watched too many movies this week is because I recently binged through the first set of episodes of the new JoJo season on Netflix.
Oh, all right.
Which for everyone in the audience who likes JoJo and hasn't seen it yet, it's fantastic. Just go watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I still haven't finished part 2.
Oh yeah, I get that.
I need to do that.
No, that's always like whenever I talk about it with my friends, they're always like, "Yeah, I watched like part 1 or something, and I just couldn't really get past it." It's like, I couldn't either when I first watched it. Like, I really, really did have to chug through it. But yeah.
To be fair, part 1 is pretty boring.
It is. Part 2 is like a little less boring, but like not by much.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about like the more like crazy parts. I will say the new opening like for part 6 is amazing.
Oh, have you seen it?
It's really good. Oh. Yeah, because my brother is a massive JoJo fan. He just came to me and was like, "You're gonna want to listen to that," and I did and was like, "Yeah, it's really good."
Yeah, that was the moment. Like, obviously, I knew that it was gonna be good, but like that was the moment where I'm like, "All right, they did it again."
Yeah. It's actually been so long since I've seen an anime. Like, there's the new Demon Slayer season that came out recently that's still going, and I just like don't care about it. Like, I just do not feel like watching it right now, and I don't know why. But I don't know. I just do not want to watch anime right now.
I understand that.
Yeah. The only one that I'm watching is kind of like those, like those chibi versions of famous anime. Like they did one, I think it was called Isekai Quartet, which is like just kind of like chibi parodies of a bunch of isekai. And honestly, I don't even remember what the show is called, but it's the same thing, but it's a bunch of different anime by Key Studios, which are the studio that made anime such as and visual novels such as Clannad, Little Busters, Rewrite, Angel Beats, which is not part of it, Canon, and a bunch of other great anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think I've said before that Clannad is my favorite anime of all time, and it's just like, you just see the characters of Clannad doing like stupid shit. There was like 2 episodes that was about like the characters arguing about who's the best big brother. Like it's really kind of absurd, and just like they're small 5-minute long episodes. They're just so much fun. So that was my anime this year.
I've also apart from JoJo, the only other anime I've seen since like Bunny Girl was I recently started watching K-On! Again with my roommate. So that's been fun.
Right. Yeah, K-On! Is fun. But right now, in general, like the only anime that hasn't come on yet, but that's really hyping me is the anime for the manga Chainsaw Man.
Oh, I really want to see that too. I got a friend who reads Chainsaw Man. He's like, this is gonna be insane.
Yeah, it looks insane. I mean, he's a guy. Like his hands and his head are chainsaws. Like, how fucking crazy is that? Well, yeah, and unfortunately, I think they had to like change the release date, and it's like it's gonna come out later than it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, but it's better to have that than to have like Berserk 2016 as an anime.
Oh God, I'm so sad about that. So I was thinking, I was like the other night I was thinking about Berserk, and I was thinking about the old '90s anime. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. I wonder if they're ever gonna try again with that, because I actually like had a moment where I blanked 2016's Berserk from my mind. But I was sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, they did try again. And I don't know if I don't know if it'd be worth it to try again.
I don't. The thing with Berserk is like, first of all, it's a really long manga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it started like in the 90s.
Oh God, and yeah, it is insane.
Yeah, and it just very, very unfortunately just stopped this year because the author passed away. But like, I saw a bunch of people that were talking about when he passed away. Like, should they, should his assistants keep the manga going forward, or should they whatever? And I feel like the general consensus I saw that most people said on Twitter was that like they should just stop it right there.
Yeah, I vaguely remember them releasing like a final chapter with like some of the stuff that he was working on. That didn't exactly tie up loose ends, but at least ended. But mm-hmm. I am wanting to get into reading Berserk very soon. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, the whole, because I watched the Berserk anime, the original sometime last year in December. It was actually a year ago. I watched it, and I have not been destroyed by like a celebrity death like that in a very long time. Like that was awful. Same thing with Norm Macdonald. Like I was like, oh man.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is that both of those were just so unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing too is that like we've always known that manga artists like have very very busy schedules, and they keep working all the time, and a lot of people saying that's very dangerous and everything.
Oh yeah.
And to have like actually someone, I don't know if he died because of that, if he died of something else,
it was something with his heart, which was related to stress. Right. So that's kind of the theory that's going around.
So I mean, to have someone actually die due to something, especially someone as big as Kentaro Miura, who did like one of the biggest and most acclaimed mangas of all time, and it's like it's fucked up. Especially a lot a lot of people have been very worried for a couple of years now about Eiichiro Oda's health. So obviously the guy who wrote One Piece.
I would be I would be too. The one that I've been thinking about a lot recently is Hirohiko Araki, the author of JoJo, because he looks healthy. Like it's not that I'm worried about it.
Yeah,
he's in his early 60s, and he already announced he's announced that he's doing another part of JoJo, which the last one took like 10 years. So
right,
it very possibly could go into his 70s, and that's a moment where I'm like, I just hope he doesn't strain himself, because my God, that would be devastating.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Eiichiro Oda too is like, One Piece is such an like a crazy thing in both in manga and anime. Like, I mean, the anime obviously recently got its 1,000th episode, and it's I've been seeing this meme go by a couple of times on Twitter, which is like, how many of you want to see the end of One Piece? And everyone raises their hand. Who wants to see One Piece end? And no one raises their hand. Which I definitely understand. I mean, when One Piece is gonna end, which is probably gonna be during this decade, like, I thought, I think I saw someone saying like it's probably gonna be around 2026, around that time.
It's definitely sooner rather than later at this point.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's not entirely a bad thing, I suppose, because everything has to come to an end sometime.
Yeah, I mean, One Piece is what, like 20? It's been going on for 20 something years.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, like, it has to end. Yeah, it started in 1997.
Wow.
Like the manga. So like, fuck, that's what. Oh shit! It's gonna be 25 years next year.
Ooh.
Man, that is crazy. So yeah, it's been going. It's been going on for a really long time, and I mean, we're talking about that, but we're not even mentioning fucking Detective Conan.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which has, I think, literally started like, I think it started in 1993.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's like they're at opening like 43.
Oh my God.
they got 100 volumes of the manga. It started in 1994.
Well, I think I'm trying to think. I think JoJo started in the late 80s or something. Late 80s, early 90s. But it's just been he's just been taking his time with it, which is good, especially recently.
Well, yeah. Because the thing too with another thing with Miura is before he died, like a lot of people were complaining about how he well, not really complaining, but they were talking about how he didn't publish very frequently, and there's always this joke of like the next Berserk chapter is going to be in like 1,000 years or whatever. Yeah. But Eiichiro Oda like is still publishing one chapter every week.
That's insane.
It's like I could never do that. Like one chapter every year for 25 years. Fuck you. I'm not doing that.
I could never. Obviously, I say this now, but like working on a project for that long seems insane to me.
Yeah.
And I could never envision stuff like that lasting that long anyway, because I was talking about this with a friend of mine because we've recently been watching through the entirety of the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if you're aware, but it recently started its 15th season.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. We were like, I wonder, like, because it still has some good episodes here and there, But it's like one of those things where it's like, when should a show end? Like every show ends on like a different note. Every show ends on a different season. But whether or not that feels right that it ended there or not is very different. Like, I'm glad that Sunny's still around, but there's also moments where I'm like, man, it's a long time to be making the same show.
Yeah. My mom's actually been watching, in August she started watching Grey's Anatomy, which actually started the same year as Always Sunny. And they're gonna start the 18th season, I think.
Yeah.
But that one is a really interesting situation where, like, Grey's Anatomy is a show that really relies on Ellen Pompeo, who plays Meredith Grey, the main character, and she actually said in an interview, like, I'm only doing Grey's Anatomy for the money now, just like, because she is one of the highest paid actress in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
literally all she does is Grey's Anatomy, and one of the other reason why she's got such a high salary is that the name of her character is on the title of the show. If she decides to leave, the show's dead.
Yeah,
they end the show, and it's the longest running medical show in history, and like they don't want it to end. So if they want the show to keep going, they need her to stay here, and I think that's a really interesting situation. There's a TV show. And also, I'll take this time to say, Grey's Anatomy, not a horrible show.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. It's not bad.
Yeah, I will say there are a few moments that was like, especially with the romance, like especially like in season 2 and 3, because I don't really watch the show as much as her, but like I watch enough of the show to like keep up with her. And in the I want to say like season 2 and 3 or something, there was a love triangle between Meredith, the main character, and two other characters, which was so wasn't great. I don't like love triangles in general, and that one was not well handled. There was one of the worst dialogues I've seen in my life. That's just like her, because the love triangle was her fighting with another girl for the love interest, and there was this dialogue of her going to the guy and telling like I don't even remember what she says, but I remember like cringing when she was saying like, oh my god, that's so bad. And yeah, that's it is very entertaining though, I will say that.
Yeah,
and it's really good at making you like invested in their relationship.
See, I don't know, I've always been a person that like I kind of find it hard, like once I learned that there's something that's like a massive length of like a show that's like, seasons long or something like that, I've always been a person that finds it hard, at least recently, to like get that dedication to like get in and just watch all of it, unless it's something like where the seasons are in short bursts, like It's Always Sunny or something. I'm trying to think of what I had with that recently, but like that's why I'll never read or watch One Piece, because I just I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could hold the interest for just how long that would take.
Yeah,
and I recently started watching Dragon Ball, which that's long enough.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not nearly as long as
right.
As One Piece, but I mean, One Piece. I started watching One Piece back. I think it was like back in 2012. It was a while ago, and I saw in the span of 4 years, maybe more 3 years. I saw the first 500 episodes. And I just kind of stopped because I couldn't do it anymore. And the thing is that I stopped watching the show like over 5 years ago, and now it's just like they've gone too far, and I can't come back from that.
I get that. Yeah.
But what I find impressive is one of my brothers started watching the show. Was it? It was either this year or the end of last year, and he's like already watched more episodes than I have. He's at like nearly episode 600.
Good God.
Yeah, he got way into it.
I get binging. The last time I binged anything like with an insane amount of speed was I watched, I think, 100 episodes of JoJo in like maybe 3 months.
Yeah,
that was the craziest. That was the hardest I ever went. I've never done anything that crazy before or since.
I think the hardest I ever went for anime probably was, I don't know, it was either One Piece or Fairy Tail, which I remember definitely spending like I remember an entire day that I spent only watching Fairy Tail.
Oh yeah.
Like I woke up, started watching Fairy Tail, and then I went to sleep. That was my entire day.
For me,
but besides that, yeah.
For me, I would, because I was a senior in high school when I started watching JoJo, and I remember so distinctly I had this art class in the morning, and then I would have like band practice later, and I would always find time during those moments to watch episodes of JoJo, and then I just watch it when I got home.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So yeah, that was my life for like a good 3 months. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but I also remember I binge watched How I Met Your Mother, which is 200 something episodes in one summer, which for me was a lot. And I think that's probably the hardest, the most episodes I saw in a small amount of time.
Yeah.
It was either that or Doctor Who, which I saw the first 10 seasons in like 4 months, I think.
Well, how long are each of those seasons, like episode wise?
Well, see, the thing is, like, it's how many episodes? It's like, I want to say around like 10, 12 episodes a season.
Oh, okay.
And the episodes are like they're like 45 minutes long.
Oh.
And there's always also a Christmas special between each season. But yeah, and I still have like, I've only seen up to season 10. I still got like season 11, 12, and 13 to watch, which 13 is, it's either it's finished recently or it's soon gonna end, but it's the seasons with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, so the first female Doctor, and honestly I like her as the Doctor, but it's just the writing that's been so. I saw the first 3 episodes and the writing was just horrible.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's, how like, so the third episode, the last episode I saw, which I saw it like a few months ago and I still haven't seen an episode since, was an episode about Rosa Parks, which was like the most it was the most like, hey guys, I got a huge message for this episode. Racism bad, and it just doesn't go further than that. And it's like, I don't know, it's just so useless, and it's like they bring aliens into it. No. Oh, which it's not. They don't do it in a way that's like problematic. Of course, or anything. Like
I just think,
of course, they wouldn't do that. But
at a certain point, like, I love historical fiction. I think it can be really, really interesting.
Right.
There are some parts where you just don't. Like you might not want to go certain places with historical fiction.
Yeah,
but that might be one of them.
I'm trying to think, because I'm pretty sure it's not the only. Well, it's not the first time that they've talked about racism, but I think it's the first time that they talked about racism through a famous through like an actual human being's lens, an actual person. Yeah, but a lot of times it was like the Doctor having a black companion and going to certain places. But
well, it's fine if they want to keep it to like stories within the episode, but like I think bringing real people into it might be a little much.
Oh, and also like, first of all, it's got like one of the worst villains I've ever seen in a Doctor Who episode, because they just stop him so easily. I don't really remember how they do it, but I remember seeing it and being like, "But that's it." And then the episode just ends with them going like on the bus when she when she goes on the front and everything, and it's just like the whole thing happening, and just like the Doctor and her companions just looking kind of like awkwardly. And then there's just this song, the song like I'll rise up, I'll rise down, that song, which is the weirdest musical cue I've ever seen. And the worst part is it was actually considered as one of the best episodes from that era, which I don't understand, because no way it's one of the best.
It kind of reminds me of It kind of reminds me of the recent Avengers game that didn't do anything like historical fiction wise, but it did have a really poorly written story about just like with awful dialogue, but like it tried to tackle issues like discrimination and stuff like that, and it just didn't work. And I'm sure the character of Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel is like great in other mediums, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it in the MCU, because they already confirmed that they were doing it. I just hope to God that it is not anything close to the quality of writing in that game. Which, made me pretty worried about the recent Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I did not play, so I don't know.
I was looking through like other episodes of Doctor Who that talked about racism, and I think it's really funny that there's a page on the Doctor Who wiki that's about like racism.
Uh-oh.
I think that's really weird, but one of the only episodes, like at least in the recent, like in the new series, but I doubt that they were really talking about it in the old series. But in the new series, one of the only moments that they really talked about racism, one of the characters was victim of racism, was in season 10, where the character of Bill Potts, which is the Doctor's companion for that season, she's like going to a noble's house back in like the 19th century in London, and the noble's just like, get this filth out of my house, or whatever, something.
Oh no!
Something racist like that.
Yeah.
And the Doctor just like punches the guy, which is so not something that typically the Doctor would do, but he's just like, you don't say that to my friend. So that was a great scene.
Yeah.
That was really good. But besides that, I forgot that one of my favorite episodes talked about racism, which is an episode where, to hide from an alien race, the Doctor goes to the 19th century again, and no, actually, it was early 20th century, and he uses a machine to kind of like forget that he's a Time Lord and just thinks that he's a human, and he becomes a teacher at a school, and his companion, since she's black, she can't be a teacher, so she becomes like a maid basically, and she's a victim of racism and that kind of stuff, and she's people say things like, "Oh, you got dirt on you," and some fucked up shit like that. But yeah, so they basically, there's been episodes that talked about racism, but nothing as like weird as the Rosa Parks episode.
Yeah.
So basically that's it. Thank you for coming to my Doctor Who racism TED Talk. But yeah, no, Doctor Who really is one of my favorite things that I discovered this year. Like, I think it's actually become one of my favorite shows of all time. Even though the current episodes aren't as good as they could be. But yeah. So if you ever have enough time to watch 13 seasons of a show, Doctor Who's a good show.
I would have thought that they had much more seasons. I guess that's mainly just because of like, I guess the perception of Doctor Who being around for so long. I guess that's what put that thought into my head.
Well, so the thing is that 13th season for the new series that started in 2005.
Oh.
But the older series that went from 1963 to 1989, that's got like 20-something seasons.
That's what I was thinking.
And they just had that's it. And they just had like a 16-year pause with like no TV, no episodes. But there was the Doctor Who movie with Paul McGann as the Doctor, which I haven't seen, but it looks weird. But yeah. So, is there anything that you wanted to talk about?
That was kind of it for me. I've had a very uneventful week.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because we're only at an hour and a half, and I feel like that's kind of short, and I don't really want to stop the episode here.
It's very...
but I don't know if I...
Yeah, it's very, very short, but yeah, I don't think I have anything else really to say.
Yeah, we haven't had an episode that short since episode 2.
Yeah, which is crazy. Crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, the Inside episode is like, what, 2 hours and 20 minutes?
Just about.
Yeah, fuck. Shit, is that all we have to talk about? Fuck.
I guess it is. I really don't have much else to say.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then.
Yeah, I guess we should get into next week's movie.
Yeah. So for next week,
yeah,
we're not going to use the randomizer because next week is our Christmas episode.
Woo!
Hell yeah. So we're obviously going to be talking about a Christmas film. Alec, what is the film that we're going to be talking about next week?
We are going to be talking about the film It's a Wonderful Life.
Hell yeah.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, might be our oldest movie that we've covered so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's from the 1940s. I'm pretty sure besides that, the oldest film that we've talked about is Harold and Maude, which is from the early 70s.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Wow.
And that one's from 1946.
Yeah.
So that's quite a jump, honestly.
Pretty much, yeah. But It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite Christmas film. And I'm very, very excited to rewatch it for this show.
Yeah. And it's a film that's been on my watch list for a very long time, so it's going to be my first time watching it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's a great time, and I think we're gonna just have a good time hanging out and talking about it. So,
yeah,
we will see you next time for our Christmas special.
Yeah. So thank you for watching this episode, and if you liked it, you can like, comment, subscribe. And you can also subscribe to our own YouTube channels. We're also on Twitter and Letterboxd. The links are going to be in the description. I'm also on Twitch. Again, link in the description. And yeah, thanks again for watching. And we'll see you next week to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
See ya.
Bye.